Hello again. Today I'm going to show you a little bit of the process I'm making a sculpture in clay, which is an additive process. And ultimately I'll make two different molds to create a one-of-a-kind bronze sculpture. It's a portrait bust. If you'd like to see how I work with the photos that I have to work with and add the plastilina, which is a wax-based clay in this instance, and it's on top of a foam that I used, a spray foam for window ceiling insulation. So anyway, let's get started on the portrait sculpting and how to make a portrait bust that looks like an actual specific person. Thank you, and let's get watching. I appreciate your comments. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Find me on Patreon, and you can also go to my finished website at borsheimarts.com. Thank you for watching, and feedback is cool. Ciao, ciao. Enjoy. Oh, and somewhere about halfway through this video, I actually stop and explain a little bit about what I'm doing with the anatomy of the eyes. So that may be interesting. The rest of it, I put double the speed just because, it's like watching paint dry perhaps. So that might be a little too negative. I find the process fascinating, but I thought I would put it twice as much. So it's not so fast it drives you nuts, but it's not, it's a little faster. Anyway, the rest of it'll be in silence, so you can watch in peace. Thank you for watching. Ciao, ciao. Okay, so this is Kelly Borsheim at Borsheimarts.com. I want to talk a little bit about the eyes. I don't know if you can see the photo over there, but his eyes look like they're sloping down. This one is more closed than this one on the right, but it's really about the musculature over the eyes. And he's got very prominent brows, but I'm not worried at this moment about the rest of the forehead. Right now I want to get the relationship here to the eyes and get those relating to the nose and things that I had started up on. So I've been working to add material here and start making, this has to go rounder here so that it kind of closes the look of this eye. And it's it's sort of going a slight downhill here, and then it really angles and then goes into the crease of the eyelid. So I've been working on this, and I'm using my thumb to drag across the clay where I want the material, and then using this to blend it, but also to get this shape of it rolling like the curve of it inside of a donut kind of thing. And I'm not worried about making it smooth right now because I can do all that later. Right now I want to get the relationships right. So I've been looking at his face, and I have an overall impression that his face at the age I'm supposed to depict him is more round here. I have a more feeling of a rounder thing, and this feels tall and thin. So what I want to do is decide where it is, because as I mentioned before in some of my other videos, is we have bone, we have bone, we have bone, we have bone, we have the bone. It's how you arrive from one bony point through the fleshy areas to the other bony point that's going to determine the likeness of this figure. If I make him too fat, he doesn't, it's going to look chipmunk cheeks, it's going to be exaggerated. But if I make him too severe, he's going to look old, and that's not what I want to do either. So anyway, I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the picture that I'm using as a reference at this age, and I want to be very careful because I see in the picture flat areas where the color of the skin is a little greener instead of red. It could be because we have blood that tends to go to the nose and the lips and different areas, joints and things like that. But I also can use the color could be a physical indent, even if subtle. It depends on the lighting, because this photo I'm using here has lighting from both sides. Theoretically, and actually not theoretically, it's true, if I wanted to really make this look like that one photo, I should set up my lights to be exactly the same so that I can see the clay in the same way that I see the image. I'll do that later. Right now I'm just using the setup I have, trying to keep most of my things away from the fireplace so I can keep the clay warm. But right now I can do a lot before I even get there. And I can see that I'm lacking in sort of the lower areas here, because we have, the chin has gotten a little robust here, and then you have a little bit of a shadow here separating the muscles around the chin, and then you have a different set of muscles here. I can see he's got a little bit of a dimple there, not exaggerated, but I see it in the photo a little bit there, and back towards the ear, because you see as I'm rolling back, I'm going backwards as I'm going up. But this area seems to be here. It's almost as if he's starting the jowls. You can see the jowls on me. So it's a thing, there's a muscle and a bone that's, you have a secondary kind of jaw thing right there. Okay, so that could be the area that if I fill this out in the lower face, I'm going to lose the tight height thing, because I don't want to start chasing my tail and saying, well, the face looks long and tall, and therefore I have to shorten it. No, because I've decided the proportion for this figure, and with the height and the chest. The height is one of the things that I don't want to change. The width I want to change, because if I start lowering this and then I say, well, now it's too tall, I could end up with a head this small on a body this big, and that's not what I'm after. So I want to stay with the height, leave it as is, and figure this out. So another thing that I have seen is, even though in this picture he's tilting his head a little bit this way, this eye is a little bit lower because, again, of the material up here, but and this one is more open. It's more open, but it's still going to have some fleshy stuff here. Right now I can see it's getting a little bit too round. You see it's a little more prominent than I want, but I'm going in the right direction. What I feel is that this eye is slightly too high, and also it needs to go a little bit in towards the nose, because as he's added weight through the years, I can see that the eyes have the appearance of being closer set than they were before. When he was younger, you see more of the eyes open here, and then here they just seem closed. And that is just a relative thing, because the face has fattened up a little bit. So anyway, that's what I'm working on for right now. Okay? Thanks.